Hello everyone, welcome to our group presentation. Today we are going to talk about the panel on new consumption patterns at the Consent World Economic Forum meeting in Davos. First of all, I would like to introduce my group members, Cao Jiaxing, Li Zhiping, Li Xuming, and Wang Weiye. Okay, the agenda of this panel is to work together for the security economy. Every year, people throw away plastic, electronic, and food valued at $1.15 trillion, more than Mexico's GDP. People in this world already use more resources than the planet is capable of regeneration. According to Willis Honey in 2017, the traditional line economy, which comprises over 95% of global economy, begins with extraction and ends with disposal. The security economy, by contrast, aims to resource and recycle resources in order to extract their maximum value and decrease their impact on the environment. Accordingly, the agenda in this season is to eliminate the concept of waste and work together all over the world for security economy. The first one, new consumption frontiers define the steps consumers, the private sector, and the government must take to create a truly global security economy. The urgent issues need to be addressed is that how to environment waste as a resource and how to incorporate the current resources into a viable and profitable business model in order to achieve the security economy. The discussion was about what are the challenges, what objectives need to be achieved, and how to achieve these objectives in the future. For the panelists in this season, there are 5 guides to discuss the new conservation frontiers. The terms of their viewpoints, the first lady is Sharon Ben, the managing editor of CNBC TV 18. Her perspective is that the concept of waste needs to be eliminated and fully utilized as the new resources, as well as achieve security economy need great cooperation in global context. According to Accelerator's research on taking advantage of security economy, the current security economy only accounts for 10% in the world. It is estimated that 4.5 trillion reward for scientific business will be achieved by 2030. So the urgent issues need to be addressed is that how to eliminate the concept of waste of recognize that everything has a value. The second lady, Prahani Biward, the co-founder and CEO of Blue Orca Resources Company. As a young entrant person, she's looking at the tangible advantages of circular economy. Her perspective is that pricing will be the key driver for circular economy to negative industries and allow the objective achieved in the long-term development. Government should regulate the markets and set the direction to make the platform effective. Then Jasper Gordon is the CEO of IKEA Group. His perspective is that the private sector should control the resources, their use, and redesign their supply chain to achieve the circulation. IKEA is committed to the long-term development and always want to be the champion with their consumers. Business environment is dynamic. As a result, return utilization of resource and cutting down the waste are great importance for business to achieve a cultural economy. Moreover, consumer behavior is always changing, responding to people's mindset of sustainability, and circulation is also a key factor. Okay, I will invite my membership to continue this presentation.
Okay, I will talk about the panel discussion. Yeah. Da Shanliu, the chairman of the and secretary of the party company China Energy Conservation and Environmental Production Group. His perspective is that the government should make more incentive to encourage private and public businesses to change the business model and develop new technology to achieve circulation. China is implementing some policies now to recycle metals and valuable materials and encourages people to classify the garbage. There are some progress, but not enough. So more incentives should be made, like lower prices and tax refunded. The next is Eric Sirhi, Executive Director of United Nations Environmental Programme. His perspective is that environmental programs may become an opportunity for technology and economy. The sharing economy is also the new technology opportunity. New technology aids to disrupt the industry and bridge the gap for circular economy. Taking mobile company in China, for example, they identify themselves as an environmental friendly and new technology company instead of the bike sharing company. The last guest is Fihi Sipspa, the CEO and Chairman of the Management Board, Royal DSM-NV. His perspective is that the disruption of the current industry is very important. Taking the agricultural industry for example, using the waste to produce new green energy is possible now, so the circularity is a huge opportunity in the current social. Okay, let's talk about the discourses. For the discourses of this session, we divided into 3 parts, including what the challenges are, what objectives still need to be achieved, and how to achieve these goals in the future. The first challenge is that the current industry is well organized. Industries follow the well-organized business model to produce products and make profits. In order to achieve the circular economy, organizations must disrupt their current business model and redesign the circular supply chain, as well as develop new technology. Because new technology aids to disrupt the industry and bridge the gap for circular economy. The second quality is that the current business model doesn't work for circular economy. Environmental programs become more serious every day. Governments also pay more attention and require industries to solve their problems. However, the current business model in organizations doesn't work. Governments are supposed to make more policies and incentives to seek new regulations of the market and direction for business. Next, one of the biggest programs are that people cannot see waste also has value. In order to eliminate the concept of waste and make consumers recognize that everything has a value, the business should develop technology and related business model to track the value of every part people use and extend product lifespan to respond to the people's mindset, because the consumer behavior will force strong push for society. Lastly, developing countries such as India continue to grow economically. They will produce more waste. Steady GDP growth will rise a large proportion of the population into the middle class, pushing both consumption and waste production to increase. In order to establish a sharing economy and a circular environment, each country should strengthen the comprehension and sharing information to work together. Okay, let my colleague continue.
Hello, we'll talk about management and management and ideology for the nation from the work. The first one we choose is the management and the ideology in terms of the power of the discourse. Social determination of the social practice depends on the background knowledge which can be represented in terms of the expressive, relational, and expressive value. Knowledge and believed, which are represented as the expressive value. Social relation, which are represented as the relational value. social identities, which are represented as the expressive value. As the result, changing discourse is of the great importance in the current society. We should imitate the concept of the West and recognize that everything has a value. Then the strong push from the society will accelerate the critical economy. In terms of the ideology and the discourse, ideology is a structure which constitutes the outcome of the past discourse and proves the conditions of the current discourse. Discourse and the ideology are continually between reproduced and transformed in the out to the achieve the critical economic overments. Organization and councils must work together to form new discourse and the ideology in suitably altogether. Discourse and the ideology are tools that can be applied to the critical management. Each country should term them the completion and the conduct the critical management of the relation issue. So, my friends continue to talk about.
Okay, the next part is talking about the cultural economy approach to management. In terms of this part, which provide a relative new and novel approach to analysis of economy and society. The cultural term of the 1990s is primarily concerned with how the economy and society is driven by this source. The definition of circular economy is not just to recycle or reuse the resource, but also to use the resources more efficiently, which can help the recycling economy to work. It can also help to the multiple use of the same resources. So circular economy is one of the cultural economies. Culture is seen to be a new means of improving organizational performance. According to the Dewey, 1997, the production, destruction, and accumulation of the resources, the pursuit and the prosperity loosely, have always been a cultural performance. Economic activities in which symbolic and aesthetic attributes are at the very core of the value creation. Competition in these activities, broadly speaking, shift from the use value of the products to the sign value embodied in design and branding. As a result, organizations should redesign the supply chain and form a circular culture to respond to the globalization. Okay, let's talking about the next part. In terms of the evaluation, at the first, technology is a disruptor to establish the industry because technological innovation allows businesses to incorporate new business models that engage in the circular economy in a way that increases profit. Secondly, business model, especially in the waste and the recycling sectors, are changing. Many businesses in this sector operate locally, allowing for distributed business model rather than a business model reliant on centralized manufacturing. Thirdly, in this part, finance and investment must shift toward a more long-term valuation process. In addition, sustainability has always created value because sustainability can be the competitive advantages. The question is, over what time firms are investors willing to wait? There must be enough capital that focuses on long-term return for businesses to invest in the circular economy. Okay, then talking about the first part, governmental policy can set the economic vision, also can create critical economic growth. Government policies can drive demand and enable nascent industries that are focused on the long term by providing fiscal incentives, granting subsidies and pricing external incentives. Fifthly, this part, consumer behavior is beginning to favor the circular economy because it's known that customers are looking for sustainable, fair trade sourced, and renewable goods. Then they can push the private sector into action. As a result, a strong push from society will provide the necessary demand to incentivize businesses to invest in a new manufacturing and supply network. Lastly, the consumer, private sector, and the public sector must all work together to push the circular economy forward. A one-line approach to establish a more substantive circular economy will not work. There must be a coordinated integrative of the circular economy from every sector of the part. Okay, the evaluation is over, and now this is the reference we used in our presentation, and our presentation is over. Thanks for listening. Any questions?